Friday shutout, Saturday turnaround, get a big win there. 3 much-needed points, I'm sure. Just your overall thoughts on last weekend.
All in all, pretty good trip. Really liked the response from our guys on Saturday, based on, like you said, what happened on Friday. Friday, we unfortunately dug ourselves a little bit of a hole. Got down 3-0 early, and it's a tough. I don't care who you're playing; it's hard to come back from a 3-0 deficit. But Michigan Tech at Michigan Tech is really tough. That being said, periods 2 and 3 were pretty good. We did some things, and we just took way too many penalties, and we're fighting it. And then the takeaway, the way the guys responded on Saturday and how we played and kept pushing, that was really positive, and hopefully we take a lot from that, because we were really proud of how hard our guys played.
Yeah, you got a couple power play goals there on Friday, and it didn't look like anything too crazy happened. Other than that, the special teams.
Yeah, I mean, so we had some opportunities Friday on the power play that we didn't execute, and then Saturday we did a much better job, made a couple of adjustments, and Michigan Tech is really good on the power play and the penalty kill. So Friday their power play was good. We had a really good 5-minute major that we killed on Friday, which was positive, but then we gave up some power play goals, and then Saturday we won the special teams battle, and we only took one penalty, and we were 1 for 4 on the power play. So it was kind of the tale of two games. And when we don't take penalties, and when we're disciplined, and we can play all 4 lines, and everybody gets going, we give ourselves a better opportunity to win. So we're going to need to have that trend continue.
Ryan gets you the go-ahead goal there Saturday, and then you guys get an insurance one later on. I mean, he's named Rookie of the Week this week for the league. Just what has he been able to do for you so well lately?
Yeah, we made some. He's done a real nice job. We made a couple of adjustments into the lines, because we had some guys hurt, and we ended up putting the 4 freshmen together as a line, and they rotated through with each other, and they did a nice job. And that line that Ryan's been a part of has been a positive for us. And so Austin made a really nice pass, and really good for Ryan to finish that play off. And they were around it all night, and doing a lot of positive things. So it's good when freshmen can because sometimes their roles is a little bit indifferent, and they're not in a role that they're accustomed to. They play down the lineup a little bit, but anytime anybody can get recognized as a player of the week is really positive. And so Ryan has worked really hard and has done a nice job. So really happy for him.
Last 2 weeks of the season here, I know how important getting a top 4 seed is for you guys. The 2 teams you're playing, the end of the year is right behind you. I mean, what does that say about not just the league, but where things are kind of at right now, and how you guys are approaching these next 2 weeks?
Yeah, it's I said to somebody earlier, I'm not by any means a mathematician, but I do know that there's one way to assure yourself you're going to be in the top 4, and that's to beat the teams you're playing. And we're playing the teams that are directly behind us in the standings. So if we want to play the first round at Slater Family Arena, it's a pretty simple formula. That being said, for us to be in a position to have home ice and potentially host home ice, says these guys have stayed with it. We haven't, we weren't really sure what this team was going to look like last spring with all the departures through graduation and transferring, and then we add a bunch of freshmen and we add some transfers, and this team's continuing to evolve and create its identity. And for our guys to have a bounce back like they did up in Houghton tells me that they still believe and they still care, and they still think that there's positive and good hockey in front of us. So the focus is just try to make sure we're staying in the moment and trying to stack up a bunch of good practices, and hopefully we'll be ready to go Friday and give ourselves a great chance to win on Friday.
I know Minnesota State, Michigan Tech, the top 2 there, but really from Bemidji up the way to about 6 is pretty bunched up there. What's that say about?
Yeah, the league's tight. You could. I think at the end of this year, however the standings end up being, all those teams from 3 to 6 are going to say, "Oh, if we'd only done this or we'd only done that." It's a fine line, between being in 3rd place and feeling good about finishing 3rd and being in 6th place and maybe feeling like you didn't have a great year. So we've said all along it's a tight league. Minnesota State has been the standard, and Tech had a really good year, and up until us beating them up there last weekend, I mean, they hadn't lost in a long time. It would have been a long stretch for them to lose. And they probably felt like they probably still feel like they have an outside chance at catching Minnesota State, but they're going to need some help from other people.
What do you see from Northern Michigan going into this weekend?
Really talented team, a team that can, when they get going, can score. They're, we saw firsthand that the Friday night game up there earlier in the year was not in November was not a great game for us. They're a really skilled team. They want to score off the rush, and they can, if you're not on top of things, they can score a bunch and score in a hurry. We're going to need to be ready for that. They've in watching them play and looking at their scores, they've been beat up a little bit from an injury perspective, which nobody likes to see. It's just something you can't account for. I'm not sure if they're going to get guys back this weekend or not. They were off last weekend, so we've got to be prepared for a team that's coming in with the focus in mind of they want to be at home too, and they know the easiest way for them to secure home ice is to do the same thing we want to do, is win games. So they're talented. They're an older group. And they're prideful, so they're going to want to come down here. And we both want the same thing. So anytime that you're in that situation, it can be difficult.
You said it yourself. You haven't seen these guys since November. I mean, we're talking 3 months there. How has maybe your team evolved over that stretch?
Yeah, we've played a really good schedule. We've played Minnesota State 4 times. We've played Providence. We've played Ohio State. We've played Tech. So we've played some really good highly ranked teams, and it's been good experience for our group. Like we said, we had playing up at Houghton, so we didn't play up there last year. So the majority of our team had never been there. They had no idea what it was like to play in Houghton. Just like we said earlier at Minnesota State, a bunch of our guys had never played at Minnesota State. So now at least we've played everybody. We understand how teams want to play. We're familiar with how other teams do things and familiar with other buildings. So we believe our team's grown. And I think, you can look at the result we had Friday, and then the way they bounced back on Saturday says to us there's been growth. Says these guys are becoming more experienced and understanding of what needs to happen in order to be successful. So that's a positive. And we said all along the goal for this group, because of there's so many new faces and new players, that we want to be playing our best hockey at the end of the year. And if we can string together some wins here and get on a roll, that's exactly where we'll be.
Do you feel like you're at that point or close to it?
I mean, if you look at our last game was a really good effort, and then prior to that, we'd lost 4 in a row. So, we played really good in the first period at Ferris State a 3 weeks ago, and didn't get the result. And then we had a really good game Friday night against Minnesota State Mankato, didn't get the result. Saturday was different. Then we went up to Tech and got beat on Friday. But we've had, in all those losses that we've had stretches of really good as far as how we've played. So we believe that, we're not a finished product, and there's still room for us to continue to get better. And the other part that's important, Corey, is we believe we have a group of players that believe that when we're right and when we do things the right way and when we're all on the same page, we're really hard to beat. And that's a big piece of the battle at this time of the year. A lot of teams, if you haven't had a great year individually or collectively, teams can be checked out and be looking forward to the season to be over. And we don't get that sense at all from our group.
Senior night Saturday, just what does it mean to have that opportunity again to honor that class?
Yeah, it's for Sam, and it'll be his 5th year here, and so he'll go through senior night again. And then for Cole, he's went through it at Ferris State, and Gabe his first time here doing it. And then you have Nathan Burke in there, who's a senior but has another year of eligibility, and then our guys that have been here for 4 years. So it's a lot of it's different than senior night used to be 4 or 5 years ago before the transfer portal and COVID. But it's a cool way for them to kind of a culmination of their time here at Bowling Green, and then it's a cool way for them to honor their parents, and a cool way for their parents to kind of look back at because these guys all started when they were little, right? They didn't pick up hockey in high school because they were really tall or a good athlete and could run fast, or if you're going to be a hockey player at this level, you start really young, and so it's a neat thing for mom and dad to kind of wrap a bow around the youth hockey career and college hockey career for everybody. It's emotional, and these guys have done a really good job. They're all going to get their degrees, and they've all experienced a lot of really cool things here, both on and off the ice, and it's a fun thing to be a part of. That's for sure.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Thanks, Todd.
Thank you.